I'm Kathy Harris. I've been a wellness coordinator with the Legion for going on 6 years now, and I went to Rutgers University for training in tobacco cessation specialist about 2 years ago. So I've been doing that for several of our clients, going out teaching classes. So we're going to do just a mini session here and try to give you as much information as we can as far as smoking. Is everyone in the room a smoker? Raise your hand if you're a smoker. Okay, all right, good. So what we're going to do is just talk about a lot of different things, really, just about smoking. A lot of the stuff you're already going to know, right? Is smoking good or bad for us? All right, great. So a lot of stuff we're going to talk about we're already going to know, but it's good to go over that stuff and hear it again, and then talk about ways of trying to deal with triggers, trying to deal with cravings, and things like that. So, and then of course, Grayson is doing a really unique thing, which is doing an actual challenge. So, you earn points for coming here. You earn points just for coming to today's presentation. But if you do some of the different logs and the assessment like you're doing now, you also earn additional points. You can earn up to another 50 points, I think, by the time it's over. Okay? So, you have the opportunity to do that. And then you also, the top 5 earners, will go into a drawing for a prize. So, you all have this with you, and that tells you at the bottom how you're going to earn your points for the challenge, and we can go over that a little bit more at the end of the class, okay, at the end of the session here. So let me just go ahead and get started with some points here, right away here. So why is smoking dangerous? I know this wording is a little bit small here, but I want to go over some of these things. So anybody, can you give me one reason why smoking is dangerous?
Fire hazard.
It's a fire hazard? Okay. What about to your bodies?
Expensive.
It is expensive. So lung cancer is the leading cause of cancer deaths in the United States. So, and that's for both men and women. And obviously, smoking can cause lung cancer. For every 5 deaths per year in the country, at least 1 is due to smoking. That's approximately 4,800,000. That's a lot, right, per year. Tobacco use accounts for at least 30% of all cancer deaths, causing 87% of lung cancer deaths in men and 70% in women. It causes nearly all cases of chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Smokers are twice as likely to die from a stroke or a heart attack. These are all these negative things, which we probably already know in the back of our minds. Generally, they say smokers miss more days of work due to colds or illness. It's not always the case. I hear from some smokers that they're not, that they don't miss work. But and each year, about 3,400 non-smoking adults die of lung cancer as a result of breathing secondhand smoke. Who's heard of the word secondhand smoke? What is it? Can somebody tell me what secondhand smoke is?
Like being in a bar, you're smoking everybody else smoking.
Right. So all that smoke that someone's blowing out, you're breathing in. Here's a question I don't have in here. Have you heard of third-hand smoke? Okay, so in the last 2 years.
Say an unborn baby.
I don't know, that could be, right?
Is that
could be
third
taken.
hand?
They would probably actually say that second hand, right? Because it's going to the mom and then to the baby. That's probably second hand. What do you think third hand smoke is? And they say it's just as dangerous. What do you think that might be? So third hand smoke is actually the chemicals that get trapped in your clothing, on your car seats, on the walls, in buildings when people smoke inside, and that lingers and stays there, and the chemicals are actually there and can still be breathed into people. So although you might not smoke in front of your relative, maybe your loved one, but then you have smoked and then you go and give them a big hug, especially think about children, you go hug your children or your spouse or your loved one, and they can get the third hand smoke off of your clothing that way. So that they've been talking about that now for about the last 2-3 years. So again, we talk about how, you know, the smoking is only affecting us, but we definitely know secondhand smoke is killing other people. And then, of course, now there's third-hand smoke as well. Yes?
I can't resist. I've always heard, even recently, that is yet to be proven.
They do have studies out there, so you can look it
Studies,
up.
yes, but it yet has to be proven.
You could say that about secondhand smoke too, but then
Well, that's
you
what
could
I
say
mean.
that about
That's what-
cancer as a sense,
Yeah.
because you can also have people that have smoked all their
No, no,
lives and don't die of cancer.
True,
Right.
and there's people that have died with
Absolutely,
cancer.
many. That's
Yeah,
true.
Never smoked.
so,
Yep.
but, you know, as far as the secondhand smoke, it's never been actually 100% proven.
I don't agree with that. I
Okay.
have seen studies that they
All
have
right,
said
well,
it's been proven. But I can get your name and try to send you some if you'd like. I can do that. Happy to do it. So, but I understand what you're saying, but it has been proven that there is secondhand smoke and that that's
Okay,
killed
yeah, I'd like to see the proof.
Now, I don't know about the third hand smoke, but they do say that that is a real thing.
Because it,
I'm going from what I've learned through the university, and then also just what all the scientific research is that's out there. So that's what I have to go by, is the scientific research. So, okay, so we're gonna move on. So I want to go through some of these things here and just yell out the answers if you know them, all right? So over how many chemicals do you think are produced by cigarette smoke? Now this is, once you light that cigarette, what's in the cigarette and what happens when it's lit? How many chemicals do you think?
4,000.
All right, it's actually higher.
How many are in the cigarette?
Cigarette smoke, so not just the cigarette, and when you light it, it causes, combustion causes a lot of chemicals as well.
10,000.
It's actually 7, so right in between there, right? Over 7,000 chemicals once you light that cigarette, all right, or what you're breathing in. What is the drug that's found naturally in tobacco products that is highly addictive?
Nicotine.
Nicotine, you got that right? So nicotine is addictive, and that's what makes smoking an actual addiction. Does everyone in here agree that smoking is an addiction?
Yeah.
Right? So anything, honestly, that we can find super pleasurable can be addicting. Can you name other things that can be addicting? What can be addicting?
Alcohol.
Alcohol. What else?
Food.
Food. Sex. I heard someone say sex, and that's true. Definitely. So anything that can be addicting, it's actually very true. That's a true comment. Anything that is pleasurable. There's gambling, right? So it doesn't necessarily have to be something you're putting into your body. Exercise. Did anybody ever know anyone that was totally addicted to exercise, just overdid it, right? So you can be addicted to many things. Anything that you feel causes you pleasure can be addictive. What is the sticky brown substance that's the main cause of lung and throat cancer in smokers?
Tar.
Tar. Very good. Very good. What's the name of the colorless, odorless, incombustible gas in cigarette smoke?
Carbon dioxide.
Carbon
Monoxide.
monoxide. There you go. And where else do we breathe that in from?
Car exhaust.
Car exhaust, right? So people shut themselves in garages and commit suicide, right? Because it's such a highly dangerous gas. So now there are how many known cancer-causing chemicals in cigarettes? What would you say? So there's 7,000 chemicals once you light a cigarette, and the combustion and what's in the cigarette that is caused. But how many known cancer-causing chemicals are in the cigarette itself? It's nowhere near the other number. Just to give you some.
Yeah, 400 to 500.
It's actually not that many. There's about that many chemicals in a cigarette. But known cancer-causing chemicals, there's about 70, approximately, give or take a few. All right? And those are actual cancer-causing chemicals. So I'm going to hand this out to you. And this just shows some of the ingredients that are in cigarettes.
Formaldehyde is one of them. Ammonia and formaldehyde.
So when you look down this list here, is there anything on there that you're like, really? I had no idea. Anything? Did you know all that stuff was in your cigarette? It's kind of scary, isn't
I
it?
did. I knew there was ammonia and formaldehyde in there.
So, just some examples, the lead, a harmful metal, capable of causing serious damage to the brain, kidneys, nervous system, red blood cells. There's nickel, which causes increased susceptibility to lung infections, formaldehyde causing respiratory or gastrointestinal problems, and then all these other things which cause a number of things to our bodies. So again, that's in every cigarette that's made. They have these different chemicals that are in there. So I want to do a little assessment with you and talk to you a little bit about the pros and cons of smoking and pros and cons of tobacco use. Anybody feel like standing up and writing for me? Anybody? No? All right, I guess I have to write myself. All right, so what are some pros of continuing to smoke?
None.
Anybody? All right, I agree. What are the cons of continuing to smoke?
Longer life expectancy.
So we would say early death, right? Since it's a con of continuing
More money.
use,
You have more money.
right? Spend money. lost. What else?
Breathe better.
Right. Anything else? Come on, there's gotta be lots more than that.
Heart attack.
Heart attack, so we'll just say health, right? We'll just say health,
Heart attack.
right?
or
Better
stroke.
health. What else do you think?
Bad breath.
Good. Bad breath, what else along those kind of lines?
Clothes.
Clothes smell,
Smell better.
right? Smelling your clothes. Anything else you can think? What about the, kind of the outside of our body?
Wrinkles.
Skin, right? Your skin causes more wrinkles.
There.
Anything else we can think of? Effects to our loved ones, right? We do agree secondhand smoke, right?
Disagree,
Um,
but go ahead.
So,
She gonna prove you wrong.
I will send you stuff too, I just need to make sure I know your name.
Green.
So secondhand smoke,
To show that I'm right, so.
so how we affect our loved ones, right? Alright, what else?
Makes you like unattractive.
You think so? So that would kind of go along with maybe your
Yeah,
skin,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Anything else?
I guess.
Alright, you might think of
People
more.
don't wanna be around
So what
that
would be some pros of not using tobacco?
When you
Kinda-
stop,
kinda the
when you
same
stop
sort of thing.
smoking, you get your taste buds back. I think food tastes
Yes,
better.
very
Beer-
good.
beer
Food
tastes better.
better.
Your beer tastes better.
Then you get fat.
Tastes better, very good.
What can I say?
Did you put on weight when you quit? Alright, what else? So we can kind of say a lot of the same thing, right? Live longer. What else?
Your skin gets back to normal looking.
Yep, skin healthier,
Pay attention, you know something.
save money, right? That's a big one.
You don't grow bald, you get your hair back.
I get hair.
He smokes.
I don't know about hair back, I've heard that one. Alright, what else can we say?
Well, along with taste comes sense of smell.
Smell, right? Sense of smell.
They're kind of connected.
No longer affect loved ones. Alright, anything else? That's a lot, right? How about cons of not using tobacco smoke? Are there any cons? Any reasons? Anything that would be bad about not using tobacco? So I don't really truly believe there are any, but just to share, like I've had someone say, well, I'll miss it, right? But again, part of that is the habit and part of that is the addiction. So that's not really necessarily a con, right? Hopefully we can learn, when we quit, learn how to replace that bad habit with something good, okay? So just a list of things on there for you. All right, so we are going to talk a little bit about, went the wrong way. The stages of change, to see what stage you are in. So there's 5 stages of change. They begin with pre-contemplation, then contemplation, then preparation, action, and maintenance. What do you think pre-contemplation is?
Considering it.
Okay, actually not quite considering it yet.
Maybe think about it.
So pre-contemplation is actually smokers who are not planning to quit in the next 6 months. You might think, oh, someday I'll quit, but there's no plan. You're not thinking it's gonna be any time in the next 6 months. That would be pre. You're not really planning to quit. All right, that's your pre-contemplation. You haven't quite started contemplating. So what is contemplation?
Getting ready to.
Getting ready, right? Starting to think about it. So current smokers who are considering quitting in the next 6 months. Now you're actually thinking about it. You know, in the next 6 months, I'm giving myself a time period. I'm gonna actually make an attempt to quit. Generally, as someone who has not made an attempt in the last year, and they're very serious, but they're serious about it. Who here has made a quit attempt in their lives? Okay, have you made a lot of quit attempts? How many quit attempts have you made in here?
Probably just that one.
Just one?
think I quit like 18 weeks or something.
Wow, very good. Very good. So you know you can do it.
Yeah.
How about you, sir?
In the past year, about twice.
Okay, all right. Any time of success? Any time period?
Yeah, once I did good for like a weekend, then when I went back out on the Beltway driving, too. Game over.
That's
Now I
done.
know one of his triggers is driving.
Yep. That's
So-
done, you're
All
done.
right, all right. And how about over here? Someone said they had a quit attempt,
Yes.
Just one,
just one time. Were you successful at all?
a weekend.
Just for a weekend? Okay, all right. So you at least have tried. Normally, they actually say, and it depends on who you talk to, but anywhere from 4 to 7, they say, is the average person tries to quit when they're smoking. So it's not always done the first time or second time, and that's an average. That means it takes some people 10, right? So the average is 4 to 7 that it
4 to
takes
7 attempts.
attempts, yeah, over a lifetime.
Yeah.
So after contemplation, we have preparation. So what is that? And here you're thinking about doing it. What are we doing in preparation?
Is prepared.
For me, it's staying away from peer pressure, because I quit for 2 weeks last year.
Oh, wow.
And as soon
okay.
as I go back with the old crowd,
Yes, that's
peer
definitely,
pressure that was it.
Yeah.
that's definitely a big one. Social is a big one. So preparation would be the current smoker who's made quit attempts in the last year, and they're planning to quit within the next 30 days. They're actually really thinking about it. They're making preparations, right? For some people, that might be starting to slow down, right? Slowing to back off on some of the cigarettes. Maybe they were smoking 10, now they're down to 8, and they're slowly easing themselves into it. Some people quit cold turkey. They say, here's my quit date. I'm going cold turkey and I'm done. Other people I know, I've been working with some people on quitting for the last year, and they're just slowly, they went from a pack and now they're down to about 5 or 6. It is much easier to go cold turkey once you get down to 5 or 6 than it is to go with the whole pack. However, if you use nicotine replacement therapy, that can help, and I have some handouts to hand out to you about that as well. So after preparation is action. What's action?
Staying away from peer pressure.
Action is quitting, right? Action is your quitting. Individuals that are not currently smoking, they did their preparation, now they're in action, they're actually doing it. Okay? And then, last would be maintenance, and those are people who have quit for at least 6 months. All right, now you're in maintenance, and now you can kind of call yourself a former smoker. All right, so, we're quite there. We're almost there. You were almost there into that stage. All right, so now the cool thing about stages of change is you can toggle between them, right? You might be in pre-contemplation, you go through this class, and that bumps you to contemplation, and you're like, yeah, I do want to quit in the next 6 months. Maybe you actually do preparation, and you actually prepare yourself to quit, and some of you jumped into action for a short time, but then fell back, okay? And started smoking again. So you can kind of toggle between them, preparation, action, contemplation and preparation. You can go back and forth, right? You don't always necessarily stay in there. Our goal, though, is to get to action and maintenance and stay there, and that's where you're at, right? Got into action and maintenance, and he's a former smoker now. So that's awesome.
How long?
Well, my son is 26 years old, 26 years ago. When my son was born in the hospital, the secretary in my pocket, gave him a trash can, told my wife I ain't smoking no more. On the way home, after seeing the baby born and my wife born up, went in the trash can, got 1 cigarette. She said, what's that for? I said, I want 1 smoke for the ride. I smoked 1 cigarette going down the road, and I stopped at Kmart in York and bought him a 410 shotgun. And when he came home from the hospital, he said the bassinet was full of the shotgun, and I didn't smoke no cigarette since. 26 years ago.
Very good. How long did you smoke prior? Had you smoked for years?
Oh, yeah.
Wait.
I used to smoke 2 packs a day, but
Wow.
cold turkey.
Good for you. That's awesome. I love to hear success stories.
Like you said, though, this came along with it.
That does happen over 26 years too. But that's awesome. That's an awesome. I love to hear success stories. So we're gonna go to on here. We're gonna go to the why I smoke test that I want to hand out. Oh, let me hand this out first. So I'm gonna just let you pass this around. Tear one off and pass it around. So you can actually make changes in your body immediately when you quit smoking. So I mean, it goes anywhere from 20 minutes, the different effects on your body, all the way up to 15 years. All right, and the different effects. So just tear one off and then pass them on, and then give you something to. Again, you might want to share this with someone else you know that smokes. So you can give that information out. I'm also going to pass out the why you smoke test. I apologize for saying you 2 at the top. I printed it from another class.
Thank you
So
very
if you could go ahead and start taking this,
Through class.
we're gonna give you, a couple minutes here to go ahead and take this for me.
Thank
We're gonna be
you.
talking about your results. Go ahead and complete this for me. We're gonna be talking about your results at the bottom.
Oh, that's what
I'll take smoke in a second.
he said he smoked 5 packs.
I don't believe
That's like 2
like a machine.
On the assessment, you're gonna circle the number that best fits your answer to the statement. And then you just bring those numbers down to the bottom, if that makes sense. You're putting like your whatever your number you circled for A is gonna go on A at the bottom. And then you'll add them across. Okay? So go through and just circle which answer, which number coincides with the answer first at the top. Just worry about that first.
Circle all these. Just for fun. Informally,
Just more there, more you there.
Thank you. Yeah, I got faith in you, man. I know you can quit. I got faith in you, bro.
Put it all together.
That is true too. Yeah, I might have to turn it back off when she's ready to do that. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, there you go.
Now,
Ooh, now I can see. I don't have my glasses on either, and I'm like, ooh. I have a pair of, magnifier glasses if you want. That helps. I share my glasses with my husband too, so. But you need them? Oh, no, I don't have them. Look at that. In my case. What do I know? Give me about 2 or 3 more minutes, we'll fill that out, and we'll move on. Making sense on how to fill it out?
No.
Good. Pause button. Alright, so once you have your numbers at the bottom, you're just pull these numbers also do the circle for G. So whatever number you got for A,
Yeah.
3 will go on A.
Oh.
Next line is B, so that number will go on B. Just fill it all the way down.
Then where do we total?
And then your total cross.
Oh,
Fill it
when we
down, so it'll
finish.
shift across. Yep. You guys doing all right back there? I'm making you use your brains a little bit here. Easy thing to do is just go down the list this way and fill them all in.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, because you do it straight down the middle, right?
Yeah.
And then add them across that.
We don't, they'll go across like 1, 2, 3?
Yeah, that's how you'll add them up, but as far as just filling them in on the way down.
Oh, okay, I got
Since they're in
you.
order,
I got you, I got
you
you,
can just
okay.
go
Oh,
through. 4,
all
2,
right. Yeah,
2, yep.
I got you.
All right.
Yeah. I'm proud of you, man. You're doing good. I think it's all my dollars.
So does anybody have their numbers filled out at the bottom? Are you done? While they're filling